I have to think carefully how to answer this, Commissioner. Commissioner, are we safe here? That's why no, Commissioner, your question is valid, but the question remains is, are we safe here? If someone wants to come here and do what they want to do here, they will do it. Do I have knowledge of that? That's the question. The answer is no. Do I know who's coming to do it? The answer is no. So what steps must I take to prevent that from happening? I need to be aware, I need to be cautious, I need to make sure I've got my weapon. Must I have other guys on guard? Yes. Must I have a cordon up? Yes, because then I can see if someone crosses the cordon, I know that man is coming to make trouble. Deal with him. Does that answer it? For you, you've got security at the front door, you've got security when you scan.
Don't say too much.
No. Agreed, Commissioner, my apologies. What I'm saying is you've got an operational plan for a threat assessment. We have to do it the other way around. So it's in reverse. Now I'm here inside, I must protect myself going out. So the question that I would ask is, the Commission's asking me, was it safe there? In my scenario, I will say I was safe. I took the steps to make sure my scene was safe. If I was corrupt, I wouldn't sell drugs, I'd sell guns. My field of expertise is weapons.
And so in that position, you described it as being in a prison.
Commissioner, I work outside. I'm an outdoor person. You clock in through a checkpoint in the morning. You clock out at a checkpoint. There's no time. You cannot go out at a certain time. My only safe space was my coffee machine, and then they stole my coffee machine inside the DPCR. Sorry, I'm laughing about it. It's still so annoying. And I had to get polygraphed because of the theft of my own coffee machine.
Who asked you to be polygraphed for the theft of your own coffee machine?
General Sonona. There were other exhibits, there were other items that were going missing in the environment. And again, I was seen as a suspect, and I had to go and get polygraphed for the theft of my own coffee machine.
Do you know if you passed?
I passed. I just want my coffee machine back.
Did you get it back?
No.
A senior Hawks investigator in KwaZulu-Natal has told the Madlang Commission of Inquiry that he believes he was removed from the elite narcotics unit because his investigations threatened entrenched drug trafficking networks that allegedly relied on the protection of corrupt law enforcement and customs officials. Warrant Officer Carl Sander delivered explosive testimony before the Commission on Monday, claiming that his transfer from the Hawks Narcotics Unit in February 2024 came after he became a thorn in their side by interfering with drug supply chains operating in the province. The Commission is investigating allegations surrounding corruption, criminal infiltration, and misconduct within law enforcement structures. Sander, who spent years investigating organized crime and drug trafficking, said he was abruptly transferred from KwaZulu-Natal Hawks Narcotics Unit to Provincial Support Services on February 13, 2024, while a corruption investigation against him was underway. According to Sander, the investigation stemmed from allegations that he was involved in drug dealing and supplying narcotics to criminal syndicate operating in Durban's nightlife scene. He testified that KwaZulu-Natal Hawks head Major General Sinona personally served him with a letter informing that a complaint has been lodged against him. However, he said he was never formally provided with the details of the allegations in writing, and said, "I was told verbally that an email had been sent to the National Head Office alleging that I was supplying or facilitating the supply of narcotics to syndicates operating around Florida Road nightclubs." Florida Road is one of the Durban's busiest entertainment districts, known for its concentration of restaurants, bars, and nightclubs. Sander firmly denied the allegations, insisting that he had never participated in any form of drug trafficking, that I would never sell drugs. In a remark that drew attention during the proceedings, Sander added that he if he had intended to engage in criminal activity, narcotics would not have been his choice because his expertise lay elsewhere, and said, if I was corrupt, I will sell guns because my expertise is guns. Despite the seriousness of the accusations, Zanda said he never officially received the outcome of the investigation. Instead, he claimed that he was informed unofficially that the inquiry had been concluded within 4 days and that investigators from the Hawks Potchefstroom office had been assigned to handle the matter. He maintained that the allegations against him lacked substance and were never properly communicated through formal channels. The officer further testified that although he had been reassigned to Provincial Support Services, his position within the Hawks internal system remained unchanged. He said he continued reporting to his previous office and retained the same designation despite the transfer. Describing his experience in support services, Zanda painted a picture of professional isolation. He said, "For me, it was prison." While praising his colleagues in the unit, he said the transfer effectively sidelined him from the investigative work that had defined much of his career. He said, "The people I worked with were amazing. I will say that over and over again, incredible human beings." Zanda also addressed a separate disciplinary matter involving his association with a shooting club. He explained that during a financial vetting process linked to a position he had applied for, authorities discovered that he was listed as a director of a shooting club that included several SAPS members. According to Zanda, the organization had been registered as a non-profit company, primarily to protect the club's bank account and prevent potential fraud or unauthorized changes. As it we preserve the bank account to stop people from changing the name or committing fraud. However, he was subsequently charged with failing to disclose his interest in the entity to the police, and said the outcome of that was a verbal warning. The most striking part of Zanda's testimony came when commissioners questioned him about why he believed he had been removed from the narcotics unit. Without hesitation, he suggested that his investigations had disrupted criminal networks operating within the drug trade, and said, "In short, I'm just going to say maybe I became a thorn in their side because I was interfering with their supply chain." Zanda went further, alleging that successful drug trafficking operations depend on the complicity of corrupt officials at various levels of the system. As it for the supply chain to work correctly, you need a corrupt policeman, you need a corrupt customs official, you need a corrupt policeman, then your system flows. His testimony adds another layer to the allegations of corruption and criminal infiltration that have emerged before the Madlang Commission, which has had evidence suggesting that organized crime networks may have developed relationships with individuals inside law enforcement agencies. The Commission is expected to continue hearing testimony from various witnesses as it investigates claims of corruption, abuse of power, and the alleged protection of criminal syndicates within state institutions. Zanda's evidence is likely to justify scrutiny on the role of the senior law enforcement officials and the effectiveness of internal oversight mechanisms within the Hawks and SAPS. What's your take on this one, people? Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more news.